Okay, Writer's Choice 8.1 is a combination of what we have already done with Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. We've already done some work with the 4 kinds of sentences. Lesson 1 was about declarative and interrogative sentences. Again, declarative sentences make a statement and end with a period. Interrogative sentences ask a question and end with a question mark. That was Lesson 1. Lesson 2 dealt with exclamatory and imperative sentences. Exclamatory sentences always show strong emotion, always end with an exclamation point. And imperative sentences give a command, make a request, demand for someone to do something, and they're going to end with a period. Sometimes it can also end with an exclamation point. So this is a recap of Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. If you have not done those yet, I would do those first, and then come back to 8.1. So with 8.1, we have 2 exercises, Exercise 1 and Exercise 2. For Exercise 1, you are asked to read a sentence and then tell if that is declarative, making a statement, interrogative, asking a question, exclamatory, showing strong emotion, or imperative, giving a command. So we're going to do 4 exercises, or 4 questions for Exercise 1 together. Number 1. Edgar Allan Poe was born in Boston in 1809. That ends with a period. And I'm going to mark that one declarative because it just says a statement. It's not telling us to do anything. The only other one that would end with a period would be imperative, and it's not a command. Number 2. Did you know that Poe lost his parents at a very early age? Question mark on the end. That's the dead giveaway. There's only one type that ends with a question mark. That is interrogative. 3. How awful that nurse must have been. That ends with an exclamation point. 2 types of sentences can end with an exclamation point. Exclamatory if it's showing strong emotion, or imperative if it's giving a command. How awful that must have been is not a command, so that is exclamatory. I'm going to bump down to number 10. Read a biography of Poe. That ends with a period. We have 2 types that can end with periods. Declarative, those that just make general statements, or imperative, a command. Read a biography of Poe is a command, so that is imperative. So that's all you're doing for Exercise 1. I'm going to bump down to Exercise 2. You are going to get a sentence, and you have to rewrite that sentence and fix it up. At the beginning, you're going to have to add a capital letter. At the end, you're going to have to add the appropriate punctuation mark. You're not going to change anything else. You're not going to take words out. You're not going to add words in. You're not going to rearrange the order of the sentence. You're not going to add punctuation in the middle. So you're only fixing the first letter of the sentence, making it capital, and putting a punctuation mark at the end. Anything different, any changes, any extra spelling errors, those will be marked incorrect. So we're going to do 21 and 24 together. 21. Is it true that Edgar Allan Poe wrote the first detective story? So I know my I on is needs to be capitalized. Edgar Allan Poe. Make sure you spell his name correctly. There's no E in Allen. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. And is it true that Edgar Allan Poe wrote the first detective story? That's a question, so I'm going to end that with a question mark. And then we're going to bump down to 24. What a harrowing ending this poem has. Harrowing is like shocking or exciting or, problematic. So, capital W on what? And we're going to put an exclamation point. Okay, so that's how you do 8.1.